Hello, I'm at Sabine bus station in Montpellier and I'm about to take a Flixbus from Montpellier in the south of France to Cologne in southwest Germany. A journey of around 1,000 kilometers that's going to take 13 hours and 50 minutes. I'm doing this to show you what's possible in Europe when you're traveling on a budget. And this is either going to be a formative travel experience or possibly one of the stupidest things I've ever done. To put this into context, I used to fly from London to Los Angeles quite a bit. It's probably about 11 or 12 hours, and that was awful. So, given that was on a 747, and this is on a bus, I think this is probably going to be a pretty terrible decision on my part. Regardless, I'm going to show you what it's like. I've never been on one of these before. It is by far the cheapest way to travel in Europe for long distance. Much cheaper, for example, than traveling by car. I'm going to show you the seats, the inside of the bus, the toilets, blah blah blah. And you can judge for yourself whether or not this was a good idea and whether or not this is something you might like to do yourself. I'm vegan and forgot to bring any food, which was really stupid, so I've just had to buy some relatively cheap bananas and a couple of apples. Cost me about $3 for 2 bananas and 2 apples. And I bought a bag of peanuts and a can of Monster, which cost me €7. Why, how that's legal is beyond me, but that's travel hubs for you. And I think this is my bus. So I'm gonna go and sort my ticket out and go and get on board, and I'll see you in a little while. So hello again. No, it's been a little while. This journey actually took quite a lot out of me, as you are about to see. So these buses are, as I said in the introduction there, by far the cheapest way to travel across Europe. I literally couldn't find a cheaper way of doing it. Not flying cars. Even if you walked, you'd still have to sleep somewhere, which would cost money, so at least this way you can sleep on the bus. So to get on these things, you just have to show a QR code on your phone. Right, there's no one here to fucking look after this, so I hope it's going to be cool. Bye bag, see you in 14 hours. Okay, seat 4D. And yeah, your bag just sits in that big hole underneath the bus, and I guess you just have to kind of trust in luck that it's still going to be there when you get off. So in this video I'm going to show you the journey there and the journey back. The toilets and stuff, I know you're dying to see what a toilet on a bus is actually like, is in the second part of the video. Okay, pardon. So on this bus we were given reservation numbers for the seats, but there were no numbers, so everyone just kind of sits where they like. Yeah, you can see here, this is me starting to question my life choices. "14 hours is a long time," and I think it was just starting to dawn on me what I'd actually signed up for at this point. So that wasn't true. There were plugs to charge stuff, but I'm going to show you that in a little while as well. So yeah, the lights didn't work. They turned them all off. None of this stuff works. So no fans, no lights, nothing. But yeah, I was not having a fun time in those first few minutes. I think I was expecting some kind of, you know, super bus or something, but it literally is just a bus. It's not to say that it wasn't uncomfortable. It was relatively comfortable, honestly, but yeah, there really isn't that much leg room, and obviously you're surrounded by a lot of people talking on their phones, and yeah. So I'm just going to give you some tips while we're at it. You can see that there are no lights on the bus at all. You need to bring toilet paper. There often on these buses there is no toilet paper, so you have to bring toilet paper just in case. Also, I know this is really obvious, but you've got to bring headphones, and also you must download any entertainment that you want to use on the bus before you leave. There is Wi-Fi on the bus, but you can't download anything or stream anything. You can't even look at a YouTube video. So you got to make sure that you've got everything you need before you go. So if you want to read, you need to bring a headlamp because the lights don't work. You have to bring a pillow. I didn't bring one. It was absolutely ridiculous. You really do need to do that. And also bring food and drink. You're going to be on this thing for a long time. And the guys that are driving the bus, they don't always stop. But fortunately, these two drivers did actually stop. There are two drivers basically that sort of swap over. Obviously, they're going to be driving like all night. And these two guys did actually stop at a service station, for which I was eternally grateful. I was starting to like panic a little bit because I really hadn't brought anything with me. Don't know what time this was, probably about, I don't know, 10, 11 in the evening. Holy fuck. Managed to get some toilet paper, thankfully. Got some crisps, got some toilet paper, it's all gravy, got some coffee. You see on the way back, they didn't stop at all for 15 hours. So yeah, I was extremely thankful that that this kind of happened. I wrongfully assumed that this would be the norm, and it really isn't. They can either stop or they don't stop. It's kind of the luck of the draw. It's basically just getting ready to go to sleep at this point. Like I said, there are no lights. You kind of get used to it really quickly, actually. So, you know, if you want to read, you want to do anything, you need to bring a head torch. Off we go again. We're still in France at this point. So this is Lyon. It did stop a few times on the way. This is starting to get like quite late now. I don't know what time this would be, midnight maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't remember. I should have noted. But yeah, you tend to get used to seeing this view of the bus. You keep on checking my bag to make sure it's there. So everyone just gets off, does a few squats, does a few stretches to make sure that nothing seizes up too much. Pretty nice black Flixbus there. Unfortunately not for us. We were on a symbol green one. Yeah, back on. And the next stop was Dijon. I think this was about 2 or 3 in the morning actually, so everyone was pretty tired. There weren't many people around. Nowhere to get any drinks or anything. I think that's a theatre. I actually I couldn't even remember where we stopped at this one. I found out that it was Dijon by looking at Google Maps and finding that theatre. And here we are in Germany. God knows what time this was. It was about 4 or 5 a.m. We're in Germany. As you can see, not looking particularly well at this point. Obviously, it's middle of the night, basically. So yeah, this was in the morning, probably about 5, 6 o'clock. You can see there's a kind of a very much a backpacker feel to these buses. You know, people just sort of like lie down and sleep wherever they like, or wherever they can, basically, to try and get some comfort. And this is Bonn, so we are approaching Cologne at this point. Bonn's a pretty cold place. Bonn was the capital of West Germany, I think, before the reunification, so it's quite a sort of political, spaced out, corporate feel to it. And finally, time to get off. I don't think I've ever been so glad to get off a bus in my life, apart from, well, obviously the way back. So yeah, it dropped us at Cologne Airport. So I have absolutely no idea how to get from the airport to Cologne, but I assume it can't be that difficult. I'm going to see if I can sit down and get a coffee and gather my thoughts. That was pretty crazy, to be honest. Really long. But anyway, here we are. So obviously there's a station in the airport, and it's a 16-minute ride from the airport to the Hauptbahnhof in Cologne. That was intense, to be honest. I left my phone cable charger on the train, on the bus, pardon. So yeah, I'm like really tired. Basically, like in the time from the stop at Bonn to Cologne, I fell asleep again, and sort of got off in a rush and left the cable on the bus. It was cheap, but it was really long. So yeah, I'm going to get the train in a couple of minutes, and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, Germany is a very easy place to get around, frankly. So it's so getting these trains extremely cheap, very regular. I just want to talk a little bit about the experience of the bus, because put it this way, I wasn't looking forward to going back. I'm not saying it was a bad thing, but it was really long, and I was really tired.
Station Köln-Messe Deutz. Umsteigemöglichkeit zum Regional- und Kranverkehr. Richtung Leverkusen und Düsseldorf bitte in die Linie S6 umsteigen. Richtung Bergisch-Gladbach bitte in die Linie S11 umsteigen. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
So Cologne's a really beautiful city, to be honest. I used to come here quite a bit for games journalism stuff. There's a big games fair here called Gamescom. So I used to come here at least once a year. Just making my way through the main station into the middle of Cologne. Cologne's not actually that large a city, to be honest. I mean, it's not a small city, but it's not absolutely huge. The Hauptbahnhof is a really big, very impressive building, and you're going to see in a minute that it's right in central Cologne. It's right in the middle of town. Germany is very vegetarian and vegan friendly. Even in the station, there is a vegetarian stand to get your veggie stuff. So this cathedral here is the Dome. It's very famous. It wasn't destroyed. I think it was pretty much one of the only bits of Cologne that wasn't bombed in the Second World War, very famously. It's a absolutely insane building, like when you actually see it in the flesh. Huge. It's fun to be back here. I haven't been here for a long time. So on the way back, I'm going to show you the charging ports. So they have ports for USB charging and mains connections as well, and obviously you get your little table. So on the bus I went to Cologne on, the chargers are actually underneath the seats in the middle. That's why I couldn't find them. I didn't think they were there, but I'll show you what they're actually like when I get onto the second bus. So yeah, I just want to show you the Wi-Fi is really easy to connect, but like I said, you can't download anything or stream anything. You can only load web pages with it, and you know, obviously use like messaging apps. But yeah, it does work. So this bus went from Cologne to Frankfurt, and then I had to change to get on another bus from Frankfurt to Montpellier. So I think I was traveling on a Sunday.
Eurer Mitreisenden bitten wir euch, den Sicherheitsgurt anzulegen und während der gesamten Fahrt geschlossen zu halten. Verstaut bitte euer Gepäck entweder in der Gepäckablage über euch oder unter eurem Sitz und achtet darauf, dass der Mittelgang frei bleibt.
So this bus was during the day, really easy, very comfortable. It was only like 3 hours, I think. So yeah, just to show you the plugs again. Everything works really easy. You know, if you've got the right cable, it'll do fast charging. It's all good. That's the river Man or Main, and this is Frankfurt. So yeah, like I said, it was like 3 hours from Cologne to Frankfurt, and then I had a 1 hour layover in Frankfurt before getting on the bus to Montpellier. And yeah, the driver just like left my bag there. I know it's unlikely that somebody's going to nick it, but you know. Yes, another bus station. All I did in Frankfurt was I went to get some falafel and then got back on the bus, basically. So this is the bus. These are the chargers that are on the overnight buses. So there are 2 USB ports and 2 main chargers, which is fine. But like I said, on the way there, I didn't really know where they were. And this bus was a 15-hour ride from Frankfurt to Montpellier, and basically they almost didn't stop at all. In fact, they didn't stop at all, apart from the stops to let people on. And finally, the toilets, the bit you've all been waiting for. So they're not bad, I gotta be honest. I mean, it's a bus. They were pretty clean. This one actually had toilet paper on it, but seriously, don't forget your toilet paper. Obviously the space for the toilet is actually really small. I couldn't even stand up in there. Not that you would want to, but I sort of brought my wash bag with me, sort of having visions of sort of brushing my teeth and brushing my hair and blah blah blah. You really can't do that. You can just pretty much just go to the toilet and wash your hands, but it's a toilet in a bus. So I guess that's what happens. So yeah, the cops stopped us at the border between Germany and France. But apart from that, it was pretty uneventful. They stopped a few times to let people on, but this is us back in Montpellier. It was a really, really long drive, very intense, but we made it. Would I do it again? Probably, to be honest. It really wasn't that bad. It's a bit like flying economy on a really long haul flight. I mean, it's not so bad as long as you're well prepared, and I wasn't. You would be completely fine. But seriously, it's cheap, really cheap. I think there and back cost me about 120 euros, and I challenge anybody to find a return for cheaper than that.
That was pretty intense. They arrived over an hour early. They literally didn't stop. In total, that journey was like 17 hours. That was pretty crazy. Anyway, the trams haven't started yet. It's too early. We were supposed to be here at like 5:15. And it's like just gone 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm probably just gonna get an Uber back to the house. Anyway, thanks for watching. And yeah. See you next time.